Welcome back to Straight Facts on Friday. I'm joined by the full team this week. Staffy is back in the house. We've got Lawless, and of course, man like Don is with us as well. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. Obviously, all seen our teams get their European draws today, which we'll be reacting to, previewing the big weekend. I think it's a big weekend for all of our clubs. Especially the top six sides. I'm actually not too sure who West Ham are playing. I didn't check, but I'm sure it's a big weekend for you.
In Arsenal.
Oh, shit, you got Arsenal. Yeah. Sorry. Absolutely. Well, you've lost. But yeah, look, we'll be getting into, I don't know. We'll be getting into that and much more. Viewers, please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Get yourselves subscribing as well if that hasn't been done. But gents, how are you all? You all well and good?
Good, mate. We're good. It's, we had a nice little break from Don and he's back already, for his recovery. Don's madness that he's going to come out with today. But yeah, man, looking forward to it.
But I'm a little bit run down, man. I had a heavy weekend, I was away. I felt a bit ill yesterday, but we're good, man. I feel better today.
Yeah, well, you had a heavy weekend because you probably got a lot of earache from your missus because you spent no time with her away in Paris. You were in the group chats cutting off Staffy at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mate,
to be fair, it was more KJ, but he was talking a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah. These lot tried to ruin.
But again, I'm in multiple group chats with Don, so he's like juggling all these group chats at the same time. He's going off against Guna Lee in one group chat, Staffy KJ in another group chat. He's like just fighting on multiple.
I said nothing but facts, bro. I'll be honest with you. I said nothing but facts. He just didn't like it.
No,
he kept saying he agrees with me. But then I was like, if you agree with me, then what are we arguing about? Like, I was just
that's what I was saying. You didn't hear me agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you, bro. Everything you were saying about Maresca, I was saying literally the same thing. Guna Lee, bro, that guy was talking to himself because I wasn't listening to what he was saying, bro. I can't lie. That guy is obsessed with Palmer right now. Every single game, he has to mention Cole. Every single game, bro. You know what I mean? And he's been off form right now, so he's got to hold it. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be back anyway. Don't worry, man. He'll be back.
And we'll be getting on to Chelsea. I've got a big question for Don when we get to the Chelsea section as well. It's more of a question about an accusation towards Don. Nothing sinister or crazy, nothing cancelable. We're talking football here only. Loads to go through. Will Arsenal capitalise this weekend? Could City damage Liverpool's title charge? But I wanted to start. We'll get into the game regarding Man United, and we will later in the show talk about the European draw as well. But news has emerged today, Staffy. And there's been a lot of news about United in the last 24 hours. Some of it regurgitated, some of it worrying. Elements of it, I think, are exaggerated about caretakers counting screws. I feel like they're exaggerating slightly. However, big article dropped a few hours ago where United staff have all been sent an email from the hierarchy saying, if the leaks continue and you get caught, you will be fired. This has led to more Man United fans being frustrated at how the staff are being treated. But from your perspective, Staffy, is it right that the club informs the staff that leaking internal information is no longer acceptable?
Wait, hold on. Why is that a question? Why did you just say some people are frustrated with that, saying they don't like the way the staff has been treated? Shouldn't that be common sense to begin with? I mean, isn't that normal? I can't believe that you just asked me. I thought you were just gonna ask me like how happy you are with that or something like that. It's actually shocking that you just said that to me because anyone who thinks, obviously, no, I'm not blaming the
I know.
I'm just surprised that there's anyone who worked in any professional. Look, I'm looking at the chat. Okay, so the chat agrees. Anyone who worked in any semi-professional, at least, environment should understand that should be fine. That should be normal. Like, I recently had a big thing going on at work, and I remember speaking with some of the higher ups in the company, and they were like, well, we can't give out too much information, but we'll only give you this, that, because this is allowed for me to talk about. And that's just what's that? How do you say the word? Confidentiality. There you go, bro. Sometimes my mother tongue kicks in, but that should be normal. I mean, we sit here, we complain about leaks all the time. And I don't think there's any club that's had more leaks over the last decade than us anyways, So some of these things that happened over the last decade would have never sat through well if Fergie was still here, and Fergie would have gotten rid of any mole in the club if he was in charge of all that shit happens. And listen, I don't think it's just that clear cut that you're gonna find who's leaking stuff, whether it's in the team or whether it's in the club or whatever. But that should be a warning. That should be very normal. It should be, hey, listen, if you speak about the company's business to outsiders when you're really not supposed to talk about these things, then yes, you are at a risk of losing your job.
You know, the problem is, Staffy.
Hey, by the way, listen, next year, this is the amount of budgeting that we're gonna give for this department, or we're gonna cut some fees on this or that. If you go out and you start leaking, especially when you work for Manchester United, everyone knows like some type of aggregators and journalists and this and that. They might have sources that they're like, hey, by the way, I got some information for you. If that continues to happen and you get found out, of course you deserve to lose your job. Of course, 100%. I don't
threatening the staff, right? Okay, which is fair. Everything they've said is fair. If you leak, yeah, you deserve to get sacked. But I think we've all been under the impression that a lot of the leaks are coming from the playing staff. This seems to be put towards the everyday people rather than the players.
Yeah. So
there's a difference, Lawless.
Who was that guy that said I need to lay low for a bit though? Who was that?
Who?
Look, I think I understand where you're coming from, but there's also a train of thought here. Maybe the leaks that come out are not necessarily coming from the players. We all instantly, as fans, all of our clubs, think, well, which player's leaking that? What we often forget is that there are hundreds of members of staff surrounding. There are loads of people at training every day that are not players. There's loads of people that there'll be a number of people that will find out what the starting lineup is at the same time the players do. From people that get the kits ready, you know, there'll be multiple, and then they'll have delegates. The social media team, as an example, anyone who's working on MUTV, as an example, that they have to get the graphics ready for. There'll be a point where they won't be told that starting lineup at the same time we see it because they've got to have the graphics ready to put straight out on TV. Does that make sense? They're getting it sooner. So as much as, look, I think Mark Goldbridge tweeted earlier about, well, they're not going to sack a player who's on 200 grand a week if they leak things. No, I don't think they will. But I think that if a player's caught to be leaking and damaging the club, that'll be someone that goes straight on the list to be sold, as an example. So you can't sack a player in the same way you would another member of staff, but that would be cutting their own nose off to spite their face, because if you cancel their contract, you'd have to pay them off, and then you'd get no money in the transfer window, which would be crazy. But I think this is absolutely right. You know, I worked for the biggest bank in the UK, Barclays, and that they had rules in the employment contract when I signed that you couldn't share private internal information and you couldn't talk about customer situations outside of work. They then had to update that. I remember it was around 2011. They updated it to include also posting on social media, because there was a little loophole where people were posting stuff on their Facebook and whatever else, and there was nothing specific in the employment contract that said you couldn't do that, if that made sense. So it said things like you couldn't speak to the media and you couldn't publish things in newspapers or in books, etc. But Facebook was very different from that. So they redid everybody's clauses in their contracts and everybody had to sign it, as an example. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this in any capacity. And although some of the revelations that have come out are worrying about other areas of the club, at the same time, what also worries me is the people that are leaking them. Because the people that are leaking them, I don't see have they really got the club's best interests at heart? You could argue they are, and they want to shine a light on this, so the pressure's on to improve things. You could also argue they're doing it out of bitterness. They're doing it out of frustration. And in fact, it adds an extra layer of toxicity and turmoil to the club, which makes it harder for us to get back to where we want to be. So I don't think telling the staff that leaking confidential, private and internal information is now when I say no longer acceptable, I think it's always been unacceptable. I would reword that and say it's no longer going to be tolerated, and they've got to go and find who these individuals are, because it isn't right, and it's right at any level. If we have a business meeting after this about the show and what we're going to try and do with straight facts, and then you lot start telling everybody and tweeting about it, I'm going to be fuming. I mean, you'll be off the show. It's as simple as that.
I'm just saying that Chelsea had a similar sort of problem when we had a guy called Mason at the
I knew you were going to say that.
You know, after Mason left, all of a sudden, there's no more leaks at Chelsea. You know what I mean? Because we had a big thing about this as well, right? Massive thing. I remember we was meant to play, was it Palace? And then the lineup got leaked like 24 hours before, bro. It was mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing a few things now. Yeah, I'm seeing a few things. I don't know if you've seen it, Lawless, right? Apparently, the guy that was leaking this said Amrim has gone crazy. Yeah, I need to lie low for a bit.
Shit.
How have you got a mold that
But you
bad?
know-
How have you got a mold that bad to say I need to lie low for a bit? That's basically a weasel that's saying, bro, listen, you're gonna keep getting more information, but let me just calm down a little bit, wait for things to blow over, then I'll be back again. You know what I'm saying? So what's
But
going on
it's
at United?
not just
right now
lineup
is
leaks though, Don.
show, man.
That's not what we're talking about. There's been a lot more leaks. There's way too much information that we've been getting from Manchester United over the last couple months. Like when it was rumored from the beginning that the stewards are losing a part of their bonus. It used to be like £100, and now it's going to be like £60 or £50. How the hell why did we know that? How did we know that a month before it happened? How the hell am I supposed? Why am I knowing as a fan living internationally, by the way, that the local stewards are not getting the same bonus that they got last year? How the hell did that happen? How did that information find its way to me? This is what I'm saying. These are the certain things that
you have to remember. You have to
They want
remember.
to get that out there. Imagine being the steward, like you're not getting the same bonus. They're like,
Yeah,
what
but there's
is
a way of
the
there's a way of
That's
doing
just
it.
an
Hang on, there's a
example,
way of
Lawless,
doing it though.
all
So
the
we
news coming.
use this show as an example. Let's say afterwards, us four sit backstage and go, guys, I want to change straight facts. Be talking a couple of sponsors like it, but they only like the Friday show. And me and KJ thought long and hard, and we're going to do the Friday show, but we're actually going to do it twice a week. So we're going to get rid of the show on Tuesday. We're going to get rid of the show on Wednesday, and we're going to do a Friday and a Wednesday show. Us four, we're going to be sponsored by so and so. Deal's tied up. However, gents, I haven't spoke to the other guys yet. Are you all on board? Yes. So give me a week or so. It's going to take a couple of weeks to process, but we're going to shut those other shows down. But let me speak to the other guys because I haven't communicated yet. If one of you
Let's do it. I'm up for it. You've sold it.
Yeah. But the point is, this is then what's wrong about that. There's nothing wrong with me having that conversation with you on a professional level, and then me go and speak to the other gentleman and say, look, we're going in a new direction. Thank you. We're going to do 2 more shows. You'll be paid. And then we're moving on, as an example. What would then be wrong is one of you to go out on Twitter and be like, guess what? So those guys find out they're losing their slot on Straight Facts before I've spoken to them. So I'm not even saying that it protects Ineos from their decision-making. Some of their decisions I don't like. But what is wrong is people internally leaking this information before it's been handled correctly. That, for me, if you just, all things being said, is completely and utterly unprofessional. Whether you like the decision or not, or that you don't like the morality of it, there's a professional element here that needs to be in place. And what I would say is a lack of professionalism at Manchester United is one of the key reasons that we are down in the dumps. And I know no one likes Ineos at the moment, but one of the key things out of their thematic review they undertook last year was about the waste at the club, the laziness, the untidiness of offices, the sort of the approach, the unprofessional approach a lot of the day-to-day staff had, because it had been easy. People didn't have to work that hard, and it was just like a jolly boys out in every single day. And when that was first published, most Man United fans were like, I knew this was going on. It's why we're so bad. Then quite a lot of those people got made redundant, and everyone goes, oh, actually, that's really bad that we've done that. And I was very much in the middle. And I said, well, I have a feeling if you listen to the initial report about how bad the club was being operated on a day-to-day basis, and we know how bad we are on the football pitch, I think these things all manifest themselves into the same place. So I'm really happy that we want to try and put a stop to the unprofessional behavior at the football club, because the more professional people behave, by and large, the better we operate, the more money we make, the less people lose their jobs. So there is and I'm just talking from my experience in the corporate world, the same as you guys have had or do have proper jobs. The professionalism has to be there from the person who makes the tea right through to the captain of the men's team. I think it's imperative that everybody is on that level. And I think you've got to be a fool to believe that it's only been the men's first team that have been struggling on a professional level for the last 11 years. I bet if Fergie went around now and actually went and, because he turns up on match days and stuff, but he's not involved in the club. But if he went round and looked at things thoroughly like he used to when he was the manager, I bet he would see it and go, this ain't the same club at all anymore. So yeah, I'm happy for that element of it, and hopefully it's the start of some more positive movements moving forward.
Yeah, it could just be some sour people, innit? It's hard to pinpoint who it is, especially with all the changes happening at your club right now. You're making all these people redundant. Some people might take it in a bad way where it's like, yo, why is this guy keeping his job, but then I'm losing my job when I do more than him, for example, right? So it could be anything right now. So it's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a minute to flush out all these guys and get things back in order, man. It's not gonna be an overnight thing, but it is something you need to sort out, Terry. It's something you need to sort out.
A comment here said, also, did anyone hear Varane's comments about United?
I saw some of them.
I think we read them, and do you know, it was one of those interviews where there's an element of, I didn't really dislike anything per se that he said, although, you know, some of it was quite damning on Ten Hag. Other parts of it, you think, or how did, you know, none of the players expected Ten Hag to stay, and yet he did. That's not a great look for the people upstairs. Then you got the other side where he was talking more generally about how fans get too hell-bent on young players getting loads and loads of game time, and he feels, I felt he was alluding to the fact that at Man United, maybe we don't protect our youngsters enough, we throw them in too early, where at Real Madrid it was a little bit more of a softly approach. And there was loads of good stuff in that interview, to be honest. I didn't think it was that bad, if I'm being honest. Alex said there's like 1,000 staff. Yeah, there's a lot of members of staff at Manchester United. And listen, it's a big team still. I read somewhere that even after all these redundancies take place, we will still employ more people than any other club in the Premier League. And again, that isn't anything to do with whataboutism and what's your club doing instead. But when you've got a team that big, you know, there needs to be professionalism at every single level. Egal here says, with Dan Lawless and Staffy on the panel, thank God Terry is there. It's a balance of scale.
Can I just say,
he's good,
this
man,
comment coming out of you, Egal, of all people, is absolutely embarrassing. What's to say? The pot calling the kettle black, that is what Egal is doing right now. Egal, you know what? Yesterday, I was this close to turning off the Top 6 show the minute you start speaking about Foden. This is how biased you are every time a City talk is being presented on the show. Not once this season. I'd encourage the chat to go and do this. Go and revisit every Top 6 show that was done after a Man City loss, and go see how many times Egal just only speaks about Foden. I meant to sit here and believe that City would. I don't know how many losses they had this season. I've lost count. Every time they lose, we talk about Foden. A team that conceded 3 goals in a game and a hat trick from Mbappe. 0 talk about their backline. 0 talk about the midfield. 0 talk about the manager. 40-minute talk about Foden. Yeah, you're right, Egal. You're right.
Really are balanced, you know what I mean? All because people were saying that they prefer Foden over Saka, bruv. Let it go, man. You know what I'm saying, Egal? Let it go, man. Sometimes break down the game. We get it. Like, Foden's not been on great form, but does that mean he's a bad player now? You know what I mean? Half an hour, every single segment is Foden. It's Palmer.
Chelsea,
you know
we talk about Palmer. City, we talk about Foden. And then, obviously, he won't talk about Saka. But when Arsenal loses Saka, it's actually jarring, bro. I'll be honest. That's why I went off in the group chat yesterday. I'm like, you're meant to tell me. Because you know what it is, bro? You know what pissed me off? I didn't get to see the game. I was at work that day. I wasn't even home. So I was like, oh, let me tune into the Top 6. Let me see what they said. So I can probably be educated on what I missed. And then all I heard was Foden. I was like, you're telling me a team that conceded 3 goals, 0 talk about the back line, 100% talk about an attacker. Come on, man. Come on. Do better, bro. Do better.
He'll do it again next week.
That's nothing new.
Well, it depends. He might dunk on Liverpool. Ronan here said, "Who wins in a fight, Staffy or Egal?" I haven't met.
I think I'm twice the size of Egal.
Yeah, I haven't met Staffy, but I've been told he's like 6'3", a big lump of a geezer. Egal's a nice guy, but he's more of a lover, not a fighter. And yeah, I would, if I'm putting money on it, I'm going odds on Staffy. I would give Egal the odds of 6-1 outsider in that one.
Yeah, I think Egal.
What do you mean Egal? You wouldn't want to put your hands on it,
but he would bottle it like an Arsenal fan. Like,
I tell you a better fight would be Don and Egal. I think it'd be a very close one. I think it'd be a very close one.
Sorry, so I don't want to disrespect Egal. It won't be close, bro.
Because
when you meet Egal, you don't even touch him, bro.
But I meant both of you. He's a bit taller and a bit thicker than you. You're a little bit. No, he is bigger than you, and you're a little bit
taller, a little bit.
But he's a little bit thicker, is in size. But I think you're a little faster, a little bit more athletic. But that would be really close. If you two proper had a scrap, hands only, that'd be a really close fight.
There we go. Some fantasy booking, some fights here.
What do the viewers think? Spam Egal if Egal beats Don. Spam Don if you think Don smacks up Egal. Let us know.
Egal's cool. When you meet, honestly, Egal can be annoying on streams. When you meet him, you wouldn't want to, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want to even put your hands on him. But honestly, he's a nice guy, man.
He's a nice guy. And I don't want the fight to happen. I'm just asking what everyone's thoughts are. I think out of everyone in here, Lawless would probably beat us all in here. He's a very, very good Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. So get you on the floor, man. After he's put his groin in your face, it'll strangle you out, mate. Like,
you tap out from the groin to the face. You tap out from the groin.
Yeah. Stop it. What is it? Mook Staffy is 6'3". Yeah, you're about 6'3", right? 6'2", 6'3".
I'm 6'3", yeah.
6'3".
Yeah,
Yeah,
you never know. Like when you just see people like this, you have no idea. LB, I was shocked how tall he is. Like he does
LB's
not look
tall, tall guy.
Yeah, I meant
he must be at least 6'2", 6'3" as well.
LB's. So I met LB. I don't remember him being that tall, but he obviously is. Who shocked me with their height? Dan, the Chelsea fan. Dan.
Dan's tall. Yeah, Dan's taller than LB. He's 6'4".
Yeah, he's 6'4", but he's a big lad as well. I couldn't believe how tall he was. The person whose height shocked me the most, right, he doesn't make content anymore. I don't know where he is. I hope he's good. The Grand Chelsea fan, the Grand Dan. He is a fucking giant. I want to say he's 6'5". He might even be taller, right? I'm in the studio and I'm like, yeah, I'm not interviewing him today. I'm not interviewing him. He was so tall. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick's tall as well. Patrick's
a big lad. I tell you who is. You see him in the comments now. He doesn't go on shows much anymore. There's a guy called Lincoln. He's a United fan. He does a moderating. He's been on their shows before. Now, I would say he's about 6'1", 6'2", but he's a big guy. But it went off one night at the end of the season. We all went out. Big group of us. We were in the studio, and we went out to a bar afterwards, have a few drinks. And I'm not going to name any names in case people have got girlfriends now. But one couple of lads went and spoke to a couple of girls, and they were having a little chat at another table. And then it all went off because this other boy got jealous who knew these girls, and it was going off. And there's a bit of a scrap in this pub. We're all trying to calm it down, and this guy wouldn't chill. So Lincoln, right, is such a mild-mannered, lovely lad. When I say you ragdolled this guy, I couldn't believe the strength of Lincoln. And there's one of those moments where I've always looked at Lincoln, and I don't know, he might be watching. I mean, a lovely guy, a bit of a geek, nothing to worry about. As soon as I saw that, the way the strength of him, I was like, I'm never pissing him off. I just looked at it. It was like, honestly, it was like watching. You ever seen that scene in The Revenant where Leonardo DiCaprio gets mauled by the bear? It was like that. It was like a human versus a bear. I could not believe what I was witnessing. I was like, rah, how tall am I?
Someone made a good point in the chat. It's about knowing how to. If you don't know how to fight, it don't mean anything. You got to know how to fight.
That's what I'm saying. It don't matter. Honestly,
if you don't know how to fight, you get out of breath very quickly because you get. This
is true. But Lincoln did. But what I was saying is, Staffy can. I know Staffy can have a scrap. How tall am I? I'm 5'10". I'm 5'10". I'm not short. I'm not tall. I'm just there. I'm just in the middle. You know what I mean? I'm one of them ones. 6'2", 255 pounds. Yeah, you're a big lad, Ronin. We can see in your profile picture you're a big lad. And I also know what you did for a living, so I know you've got a bit of training as well. So yeah. Next video, Lincoln is scary. No, legit. Scares me more than Arsenal. Tell who is the shortest. On this stream, Lawless is shorter than you think he is. When I first spoke to you, I thought you'd be about 6'2", and then it turns out you're 5'2". So it's like
I'm 5'7". You can. I'm 5'7".
Same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Most 5'4".
Don's literally me and Don. Don's I think just an inch taller.
Yeah, you're like 5'8". You're about 5'8", right, Don?
Yeah, must be about 5'8". I think I'm just about similar sort of height as KJ.
Nah, KJ's my height. KJ's taller than you, I think, by a little bit.
Nah, bro. When we were standing at that thing that we went to, that event we went to, KJ was literally right.
KJ did have high heels on though, Don, to be fair.
Yeah, no, but KJ puts those soles in his shoes. KJ wears those soles in his trainers to make himself taller.
Oh, is that what he does?
Yeah.
But yeah, me and KJ were literally standing like right next to each other like this, bro.
Okay, I hear that. Yeah, but Mo's probably everyone on the. I think Judge Mo. Yeah, he's 5'4". He honestly, he should be a jockey.
5'4".
Yeah, he's 5'4", bruv.
Oh shit! I feel like Staffy's standing next to him, honestly, bro. Because I met Mo at the barbecue. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2 years ago actually. I met Mo. I was surprised, bro. I was surprised.
Yeah, I never met him. Listen, fair play.
Yeah, Yeah, no, yeah, it's an interesting one. What's it say here? I'm 6'3". Yeah, I don't believe for some reason, Jamie. I don't believe you. I don't know why, but I don't
You
believe
want a
you.
medal?
You look cool.
You want a
You look
medal?
cool.
Eh? That's that comment.
Don and Lawless going inch for inch. Right. Man United play Everton tomorrow. How are we going to get on? Let's go to Lawless first on this. How do you think United will do?
It's not looking good, lads. It's not looking good. And I hate to say it. I want to see a draw because of the position that you're both in. I'd be happy to see a Man United win because I'm so sick of hearing about, oh, Moyes, look, you should have kept Moyes. Look at him winning and you're not winning. Like, it's a situation for both. Like, Everton need to be humbled a bit. Moyes needs to be humbled at Everton. I just don't think you have the capacity at Goodison last season at Goodison. They've got momentum. They've got the crowd behind them. Man United have the opposite, and it's going to be one of them ones. They're going to be set up very defensively well structured. He's got them scoring a few more goals now, so it's going to be a case of if you can really break them down, and then what your defense can do. Like I've watched a few Man United games at Goodison. I think it was last season I watched, and it was very frustrating watch from a Man United perspective. And now it's going to be even more frustrating. And I hate to say it, but it's going to be another bloody win for Everton, man. And this is an important game. I think it's important to start to turn it around for Man United because it's still Everton. They're still, not been a great side, so it's not a good look. But man, I just can't see how Man United win this game at the moment. I really can't.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you. No one has picked up more points in the Premier League since Moyes took over Everton than Moyes. That's crazy, right?
Yep. It's
the chosen one.
I think like 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss, something like that. 4 wins and 6. That's why
you know what? If Everton win, I want to hear the narrative that you should have kept Moyes. I want to hear that. Let's do that.
I mean, it's a bit of a crazy narrative to say 10 years later. If it was something more recent, then maybe.
I know.
The narrative right now is why is Moyes doing better than Emirates? And I keep saying, well, he's not really taking on the same assignment, if I should say. No one really brought Moyes into this Everton team and say, hey, by the way, we wanna restructure this whole team right now. We want to get rid of the couple attackers that you have, and we want you to play a different brand of football than the other manager. He just came in to continue a job that Sean Dyche was doing. And to be fair, it is a manager bounce. Like if you ever needed to see what a manager bounce is, it's what Everton are doing right now. The players are just playing with higher morale, and they're just finding joy in their football again. I think Beto said it last game. He said, we're just enjoying football again. That's quite literally the definition of a manager bounce.
He's a very similar profile manager to Dyche. So it's not like he's having to rip up the playbook.
Yes,
exactly. There's nothing.
And that's why you're not seeing the same type of bounce at West Ham with Potter, because Potter's going in there and it's the start of implementing something new and a different way of playing. So, West Ham are going to go through what United have gone through with less media scrutiny from a global sense of up and down results to begin with, because you are now going in a new direction. You should have just done this in the summer like we did, as opposed to starting it midway through. Yeah, what I always love about the comparisons are, look what Moyes is doing. Whenever you're talking about other managers, so if you turn around and go, why is Mikel Arteta done this, or why would Amorim say that? Well, that's what the elite managers say and do. You can't compare your shitty clubs or your bad managers to these elite people. Well, why are we comparing what Everton are doing to Man United? This is what annoys me about football fans is it's the duplicity in the punditry. It's just so, I know there's banter to be had, but you're talking about serious conversations on social media, serious conversations in the mainstream media about this. 1 minute you can't compare it to the elites, but you can compare a club that's been where Everton have been for the last 25, 30 years to Man United in terms of the media scrutiny, the rebuild that we're going through, all this different situations and problems. I find it hilarious. That all being said, I can't see where we get a win tomorrow. I want us to win, of course. That will be said.
Hold on, let me give you some copium.
Can't see it. Go on.
Give you some
what's the copium?
So no Decore. Good news.
You got no Decore.
Yeah, he's suspended still because of the Liverpool incident. So he's suspended, and I don't know if anything changed or not, but I don't think Ndai is playing. So
who are you missing? Who are you missing?
I'll be honest with you, Lawless. Me missing players or not doesn't really make a difference. I'm just mad anyway.
Beto firing right now, bro. Beto, when he first came, I thought, okay, this guy actually looks alright, you know. I was surprised when I saw Calvert-Lewin start games, and then he was the one that was being benched in that. Now, bro, he's looking good again, man. Like if you look at that finish against Liverpool, the movement, bro, getting in behind, you know what I'm saying? Like he's physical. He's gonna rough your centre backs up again as well. Bro, Everton right now, they just seem a little bit more, you know, motivated, a little bit more confident. Obviously, it's their last game now playing United as well, their stadium as well, isn't it? So, you know, Moyes, he's always got this thing for United as well. So let's see, man. Let's see. So is it the first game of the weekend?
Yeah, 12:30
or 7:30. There's a game today.
They're the worst ones. They ruined your weekend. They ruined your
7:30 my time. I gotta wake up 7:30 to watch potentially a loss.
I look at it the other way when we're playing badly. I look at it as though if we're gonna lose, I'd rather it be at the beginning, and then the enjoyment of other football matches and sport make me feel better. Recently, we've been because of the Europa League. We've been the last game or one of the last games, and when that goes wrong, it's like I end my Sunday on a dampener. So at least I look at it the other way when we're bad. When I was in title races, when we were in title races back in the day, I used to hate going first because it could ruin your weekend if one of your competitors won. Honestly view it the other way around, that now that we're not a very good team, I'd rather go first and get it out the way, win, lose, or draw, as opposed to, because I kind of dread our games. I don't really look forward to them at the moment in terms of a spectacle. So I'd rather it just be done. Do you know what I mean? I wish we were playing tonight. Someone here says Decore definitely available.
Yeah, I'm seeing this in the chat. I gotta go and check then, because I was on SofaScore and they're saying he's suspended. So
let me do that for you right now, Staffy, because I could just check it on goal right now.
Bro, the fact that I need Decore to be out for me to have a chance is actually embarrassing.
I think McNeil's out. Calvert-Lewin is obviously out.
Calvert-Lewin, Everton's injuries are Broja, Mangala, Calvert-Lewin, Dwight McNeil, Coleman, and Ndai. Right?
So Decore's back from his suspension. I mean, he's
going
to destroy me.
That Lindstrom guy's dead, but they've got Harrison. He can do a little something. They've got Beto.
Harrison is good. Lindstrom is dead. And what's his
name?
That's what I'm saying.
Your old boy should be starting the game as well.
We'll see, bro. We'll see. I mean, listen, we have a lot of injuries ourselves, and it doesn't get any better from here. But to be fair, I think we fluked a couple good results against Everton recently. I mean, we beat them 4-0 in what, my opinion, that should have never been a 4-0 game. We won 4-0.
And they take their lead. By the way, if they win this, I just want to say they're above Man United. They've got 1 point. If they win this, they're 4 points ahead of Man United, and it puts them 6 points ahead of West Ham. But yeah. So obviously we'd have a game in hand, so we'd have to beat Arsenal. It's
going to be an interesting one. United have got a few players hopefully coming back. I think we've said today that Ugate's back, Lenny Euro's back. I think Ericsson is back. Our bench
Euro was never injured. It was just him.
Where's the goals, Terry? Where do you not think the goals are going to come from?
That's the issue, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but mate, I'll be honest with you. I could sit here and do a waffle sandwich all day. Right now, I have no idea. The goals are going to come if somebody clicks into a bit of form, but I can't tell you who or what or why. It's just one of these. Well, you were sucking him off 2 weeks ago when you were linked to him, bro. What are you laughing for now?
Bro, I said
you come on here. Your knees were red, and you were go. Actually, I've been doing my research. Now you're laughing. Get the fuck out of here. You're the one who backed your owners, and they're trying to buy him. Shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
I told you, look, I came on here fuming at the fact here that we could have bought this guy for what, 60 million, and I said I don't want this guy, but I have to be real. The past few weeks, regardless of his miss, regardless of his shocking game against Tottenham, he's actually been decent for you, man, recently.
I get that, but you came on here doing a glug 3000 right for him. But listen, the summer soon come, brother. The summer is going to be here soon. But look, the only way we're going to score is if some people click into gear. I read a damning stat. We're only like 10th in the league for big chances created, but we're only like 5 behind Nottingham Forest, and look where they are. We have the lowest conversion rate of big chances created in the league at 8%. Only Southampton have missed more. And I was talking about this earlier on in the week. I'm not saying a striker or a goal scorer fixes Man United, but I think we have an extra 9 to 10 points in the league at this point, which puts us, ironically, only a few points off 5th, but much higher in the league. And I think it would relieve the pressure. That's what this team needs to do more than anything else. We need to start scoring goals. How we do it, it's about these individuals staying composed, because it's not just the Spurs game. Go back and look at multiple matches. There's loads where we should be scoring, equalizing, going ahead, and we don't take chances. Of course, there are loads of areas that need fixing in this new system that we're implementing, but the inability to convert our chances, I do feel is one of our biggest problems at this particular moment. Because what it also does, it makes your opponents more confidence against you, because, well, even if they get chances, they're not going to score. The fact Spurs beat us, the more I've calmed down after the result and watched the game back and re-watched it and watched the chances, how we walked out of there losing is so frustrating, because we had so many clear-cut opportunities to take the lead, to equalize, and probably to go ahead. It was annoying, but yeah,
it sounds like you've sold your Rasmus stocks, Terry. Is that the case now? Yeah, you've sold it.
Look, I look at it this way. I listened to what we spoke earlier about what Varane said about we bringing young players to Man United when they're not ready, and we go, there you go and deliver. And for me, I think Rasmus was a talent when we bought him. I stand by that, but he's been made to be a number 9 at the biggest club in England, one of the most famous clubs in the world, where the media scrutiny is high, the fan pressure is high, and he's collapsed. I think when Rasmus leaves, you will see him do what Anthony's doing right now, as an example. And we need to look at the Anthony who came in at 21. Right, you're not the number 7, but you're going to play in that position. You've got to be the guy straight away. The pressure was there. The money for him didn't help. Rasmus comes in. You're the number 9. You've got to deliver straight away. We've got to learn that rarely do you buy players that young and they come in and deliver straight away. You could use Rooney as an example. He's a bit of an exception to the rule of an 18-year-old, 19-year-old you buy that comes in and does that. But look who also surrounded him in that team. Look who the spine of Man United was at that particular juncture. This is something we have to learn. Yes, there's a young lad we're linked to at the moment. Giovanni Kenda. 17, 18 when he joins. Any Man United fan that's going to be like, oh, he's going to be our saviour. You're a dickhead. Stop thinking like that. Stop acting like that. These young players we're signing need to be given time to be nurtured, time to develop. And I know people go, oh, if you're in the first team, you should be criticised. Yes, but you can rarely in football are the young players the talisman. Every now and then you'll get a Yamal as an example, a Rooney, like I've mentioned, but these players are not the rule. They are the exception to that. And so for me, yeah, my stock in him has gone from a Man United perspective. But do I think he'll deliver when he leaves and goes elsewhere? Absolutely. If Anthony can look like he looks right now by the way, if Anthony gets a man of the match this weekend, I've read somewhere that will be the first player ever. He's already the first player ever to get a man of the match in his first 4 La Liga games. No one's ever had 5 on the bounce. This guy could get a record that Messi and Ronaldo don't even have. Man of the match 5 times on the bounce. So for me, I'm not worried about the idea we can't sell these players. It's just I think some of these guys are done at Man United.
So you think you're going to sell him in the summer then?
I don't know if we'll sell him because we've got
Rasmus?
loads to sell. I don't think Rasmus. Maybe
maybe
not.
a lot of money to Atalanta for him, bro. That's
So it depends on what we get offered. So they might find a situation where they say, if you could get a loan deal where most of that, whatever you're paying for his transfer fee that season is taken care of, so that it's net neutral that year. Has a good season, maybe away at Juve and does really well, and then they drop £60 million on him, you'll probably find by then you're making a very slight profit on that sale. However, we've got to get rid of, over the next 2 to 3 years, about 90% of this squad. What order they go in, I couldn't do it for you. I've got my own personal preference. He ain't one of the top people, by the way. There's a lot of people that should go before him, but yeah, he's someone that I think won't last, especially if we do buy a couple of new attackers and they start delivering. I just don't think he'll last, but that's it. We'll come to that comment in a moment. Terry is a fool, but yet you watch me every day. Oh, bless you. What's that say about you? You all right? Is it? I know what this is. This is the conversation about height, isn't it? You're 4'8", isn't it? And you, that's what it is, bruv. Oh, God bless you, little cotton socks. Let's go to some of these super chats here. First one says, "Makes sense. Mo's 5'4". Trolls are wee little fellas," is what he says here.
Mo's cool, man. Mo's cool.
Nah, your better show pics standing side by side. I actually looked at an old stream of mine the other day where I was streaming at the O2 with me, Lee, Gunner, Aaron. A guy that used to be on AFTV called Sonny. He was in a vest. I don't know why he was out in a vest, but he was out in a vest on a Saturday night. And I actually, again, I was a lot closer to Lee Gunner's height than I thought I was. But yeah, we'll do that one day. When Terry, will there be any meet and greets on the terrace soon? We're going to be doing a big thing when we hit 500,000 subscribers. So however long that takes, then we'll get it done. We were going to do
Terry, we need a charity football game. That's what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot
of people talk. I want to. You can commentate. You can commentate, bro. I remember when I used to commentate for. Who was it I used to commentate for before? I forgot now.
Blood Brothers. I used to do the Blood Brothers.
Yeah, Blood Brothers. Yeah, you commentated on one of the games that I played in, right? I can't remember what game it was, but
who are you playing for? Who are you playing for?
But I went to the trials for you know who in it, but I didn't sign. I didn't sign in the end.
Oh, you didn't get picked?
No, I didn't sign, bro. I left.
Oh shit! That was right. You. That was you.
What do you mean that was me?
I remember that conversation about. I remember him saying you found this talented player, but he didn't sign. That was you.
That must have been if he said that. But yeah, I left. I went elsewhere, man. I went to play with my boys.
I'll just 2-foot you, Don, and call it a day, mate. You know what I mean? I'll just fucking slide in.
A lot of guys do the talk, but I want to see what these guys are saying when the ball's right there. You know what I'm saying?
What we'll do, me and you, we'll do it. We'll do it both our sports. We'll do 1-on-1 in the cage.
Yeah.
Football, and then we'll do 1-on-1 in my MMA cage.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
Cool. On that, we'll do it. We'll do it. Because I know that'd be so much fun.
That'll be calm, bro. Trust me.
Okay. All right. Okay. What? Lawless and Don are short kings.
Yeah, man. Something like that.
Yep.
Say that. Donate.
Yeah. I've heard a rumor they're extras in the new Snow White film. So hi ho.
Most of these guys that like to mock height aren't even 6 foot themselves, you know. I swear to God.
Mate, honestly, I know people, right, that are like 5'9" and are like flexing. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Nah, on a level, like it's weird. Me growing up, like height's never been a thing. Do you know what it is? Like coming from the fighting world, I had mates that are like 5'4", 5'5", who were absolute dynamite in the ring, great fighters, tough people, and that's why growing up, like height was never really a thing. And then there was like, guys that like I was friends with that were, like 6'2", an absolute pussycat. So height's never been a thing for me. But yeah,
it's become a big social media topic for sure.
Yeah, but it's like anything, isn't it? Like some people think that having hair or being tall means your brain works better or your opinions are better. It's very. And people go, oh, you got no hair though. What's that got to do with my opinions on football? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's very, very, very strange. Very strange. Moving on from Manchester United, Chelsea are desperate as anybody in the Premier League for a win at the moment. But you go away to Aston Villa, who have had a few positive results as of late. How do you think you're going to get on this weekend, Don? And how can you stop the rot?
Mm-hmm. I'm not confident at all, Terry, man. You know what I mean? I just know how this Chelsea team plays without a striker. I'm not really seeing Maresca right now trying to problem solve. You know, we played Brighton twice in a week, and you basically did the exact same thing you did in the game before. You know, fair enough in the first 10 minutes. You know, he started Neto on the left. He started Madueke on the right. Sancho wasn't right for that game, like I said in the first game as well, because we had to stretch them. We haven't got a striker right now, which is a massive problem, because when you play Cole Palmer up top, you take him away from the game. And same thing as in Cuckoo, he's useless up top, bro. You know? So we were trying to play a few balls over the top and that for the first 15, 20 minutes. But when Madueke came off that pitch, it was peak for us. And it was just the same old congesting the midfield, not trying to overlap the fullbacks. It was long for us, you know? So right now, I'm just looking at how the teams have been set up. I'm seeing how Maresca is struggling to problem solve. And I honestly don't know how he's gonna try to sort out what's going on at the minute. For me personally, I would actually start George. Because when he came on the other day, he was actually looking quite dynamic, looking way more direct than Neto and Sancho. He's looking a little bit more threatening on that side. You know what I mean? So if it was up to me, I'll start him. I don't know who's going to start up top, Terry. This is the problem, like I said. And Aston Villa, how they play right now, they love to pack out their midfield. So I can see Maresca doing a similar sort of thing, right? But I just have no confidence in our attack because Sancho ain't scoring. Neto's not scoring. Madueke's injured. Jackson's injured. Gil's injured. It's peak. That's the best way to put it, bro. There's so many players in our team right now that are off form. You know, Cole's fell off a cliff. You've got Palmer right now is not on form. You know, to be fair to him, he should have way more numbers than what he's got right now. But so many people keep missing chances he keeps creating. But right now, we're not even creating chances. You know, I know Jackson's not the greatest finisher, but when he's playing up top, at least you've got like a guy that can link up play, bring others into play, pick up the ball, win us some fouls. Right now, we haven't even got that. You know, so it's a similar sort of performance as what you saw last week with Arsenal, right? For 81 minutes, they were shit until they brought in Merino and tried something different. So I'm hoping maybe he'll play Neto up top, you know, maybe George up top. Let's see if we can try a look something different so we can have a different dynamic up there. But as it is,
yeah, but
I'm just not confident at all.
Arsenal weren't being torn apart. They weren't defending poorly. So when you say it was like an Arsenal performance, you could argue the attacking element. Yes,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Okay, because
but what I'm trying to say about they were just clinical.
Yeah, but Brighton could have scored 4 or 5 goals in this game. When they attacked and they committed, they had opportunities. I thought your defending was poor. I thought Levi Colwill looks absolutely woeful as an example. I thought as a midfield, even Caicedo, who's been amazing. I thought your midfield was limp in this game, and it feels like your whole team right now is really sort of discombobulated. It doesn't feel like you're together. It feels like there's a multitude of problems right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw this question out to the rest of the panel. Where do you think the problems for Chelsea are stemming from, Staffy?
I mean, there's so many issues. I'm not gonna put it down to one thing. I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Egal. But if we want to talk on the pitch, listen. I've said it in the group chat to Don, so I'll say it here. I think Maresca is horrible. He gets so many things wrong on the pitch, and as much as I get what Don is saying in terms of some of the player profiles, I don't think Don is wrong. But I look at what the manager does, and I'm like, yes, even if you had the right profiles, I still think you're getting a lot of things wrong on the pitch. As an example, I hate the 2 inverted fullbacks. I just absolutely hate it. On and off the ball. On the ball, you're struggling to create. I mean, that Brighton game, it was so simple for the Brighton manager to defend against that because all he did was just pack the midfield. He just had 5 players just sitting in the middle of the park. Every time they tried to build, you saw them, they were playing too narrow. Just put bodies there. They can't make any passes. They'll get the ball and they'll hit them on the counter. And every time they hit them on the counter, because the 2 fullbacks are inverted, it is so easy to counter on the flanks because now you got to run at them and there's no one there. They're doing literally the same thing that Ange Postecoglou has been criticized of, which is having Porro and Udogie too deep in the middle, that when they have to run back, now there's a lot of space left. And that's why the center backs kind of have to split up a little bit. Just these 2 things alone, I look at it and I'm like, I don't care that your number 9 profile is not there because you're not even getting the ball in these areas the correct way. It was the last chance, the last game, Don. I forgot who was playing on the left at the time. I don't know if it was Sancho or someone else. And for once, I saw Cucurella make an overlap.
It was Sancho.
The ball got played to him and he squared it across the box. No one got their foot on. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, this is an example of when you need a number 9. Because that ball is screaming for a number 9 to be there to just get a shot on target. But you've done that once in the whole half. And that is the problem that I had. Why did it take him that long to understand that you need to have your fullbacks playing a little bit wider? Why is it every time?
You know the issue right now, yeah? He's putting way too much trust in these wingers when they keep letting him down, right? Because this system right now, if you've got better wingers right now that are more of a goal threat, it works, yeah? With Mavididi and Fatal, bro, these guys on both sides last season for Leicester were killing it, yeah? But the problem with our wingers right now, they are underperforming. So what have you got to do as a manager? You manage. Hold on, that's what I'm saying, bro. You manage that situation and you overlap the fullbacks, right, to give them a little bit more support. Because when they're attacking their fullbacks right now, it's basically 1-on-1 and they've got no one near them, right? Last season, you saw Gusto. Gusto was performing at his best last season when he was overlapping and crossing in the ball. He left with like 8 assists last season, right? This season, we've mainly only seen Cucurella overlapping because he has done it in a few games where he's overlapping the fullbacks. Like when we played Palace, he overlapped both of the fullbacks, right? But he said it himself. He doesn't like doing it. But right now, needs must. Because if you keep trying to do the same thing, as like what I said for Poch, he kept trying the same thing and it wasn't working. If he keeps trying this same system, he's going to get himself in a situation where the team keeps dropping points and he ends up getting sacked, yeah? Now is the time for you to problem solve. Do whatever you've got to do to try and get these wins because we've got Leicester, we've got Southampton. Obviously, we've got Villa away coming up, but Leicester and Southampton will both be at the bridge. And then we've got Arsenal. Then we've got the international break. more players should be back. So for now, bro, needs must. Forget your philosophy for now and just do what needs to be done, bro, to help the team. You know what I mean? It's not good enough. Maresca right now is not performing, and like I said, it's affecting the rest of the team. Yeah, you can't be trusting Colwell and Chalobah, right? When you know that they're average defenders to be fucking, you know, in all this space on a counter, because that's what teams are doing right now. They're just sitting back, waiting for us to make a mistake in the middle, and they're just getting us on the transition. You know what I'm saying? That's the major problem right now. You know. So both ways,
none of these things come up when you did your research, Don, on Maresca. Like, how comes none of these issues that he seems to have?
Let's not blame Don for this.
No, listen, I told you, but hold on. Everything that you lot were saying about the second half of the season, I literally said to you, right, that I do agree with the problems they had in the second half of the season. If you go look at how many chances Leicester were missing in the second half, it's very similar to Chelsea. But right now, it's a bigger problem than just chances missed, right? We're not even creating them right now, Lawless, because we haven't got anyone up top. Yeah. Over that period, over Christmas, we kept missing bare chances. Cole Palmer, over 30 chances created, 0 assists. Yeah. I can't really look at Maresca too much for that. But at the same time, I blamed him for the in-game management as well. But now it's completely, all the chances have gone. They've dried up, right? We're not creating. Fuck all, mate. 0 shots on target against Brighton. You know what I'm saying? So it's a problem, and he needs to problem solve quick, bro, because he gets paid a lot of money to do it.
Yeah. It's not good, man. It's not good. Obviously, against us, I got to see you.
He's mid, bro. I'm sorry, he's mid. Let's just say it for what it is. He's mid. Is he really better than Poch? I'm being honest. Like, is he better than Poch?
Bro, let's see how he bounces back before we come to full-blown conclusions, Staffy. Let's see how he bounces back. That's the main thing for me. I'm not going to make any overarching statements and say, oh, he's shit now. Because first half of the season, he was doing some good things, bro. But now he's been shit for weeks.
That's what's annoying me more. That's actually what's annoying me more. Because at the beginning of the season, he was actually playing to these players' strengths. I look at it now, and I swear to God, I look at what he does to these players, and he's not doing them no favors. Not 100%. At all. Like the wingers, you mentioned the wingers not being goal scoring. I get that, and I've mentioned that before. But it's not that just clear cut. Dude, every time your wingers get the ball on the right or on the left, there's zero help. They don't have a 9 to put the ball to, and they don't have overlapping fullbacks. But then people watch that, and then they laugh at them. And like, it's not even me defending Sancho, but it's just like I look at him, and like people are like, oh, he doesn't want to take on his man. Dude, bro, he's getting double teamed every time. And even not him, you go to the right side, Neto's the same thing, or Madueke when he was playing. I'm like, so am I expected as a manager that every time I get my wingers in isolated situations against, not even isolated, against 2 fullbacks, am I going to expect them to dribble just past him and put the ball in the box every time? Like, you're actually doing nothing to help your wingers, and then they're the only 2 holding your depth, your width. So I'm looking at him, and I'm like, this manager is actually clueless right now. Yeah, he really is. I'm sorry.
I've literally said the same thing because he's watching his team dying out there, and the problem that I've got as well, like, cool, in a few games, Cucurella scored a few headers. Like, he scored against Bournemouth, against Fulham, nearly scored a header as well. I can't remember the other team he scored against when he jumped in the box. Yeah, but we haven't got the profile of player to keep whipping in balls, bro. Like, we need to be playing it across the floor and cutting it back, because the likes of Nkunku and Palmer, if they're going to play up top, bro, these guys they're not even. Palmer's what, 6'2", but he's not that great in the air, and Nkunku's all right in the air, but he's not like a target man to be constantly trying to whip it into him. Yeah, you need to be whipping it across the floor, and he can just be running onto it and you know, scoring like that. But the only way you're going to keep creating chances like that is by overlapping the fullbacks. You're right. You know, and that's what I've been saying in my fan cams for weeks now, bro. These wingers, they need more support. It's not like right now they're performing well and you're seeing Sancho doing a madness. You're seeing Neto doing a madness. They're off form, bro. So you need to help them. You can't just expect them to just pick up form and start killing fullbacks every week. It's not going to happen like that, bro. This is the Prem.
It's not realistic for me.
It's not realistic. Yeah, it's not realistic. You're just waiting for something to happen, but you've got more than enough evidence to show that it's not happening. You know?
Yeah, look, how do we see this game going against Aston Villa, Staffy? We obviously know the problems that Chelsea have got. Can they, you know, Villa have had some poor results themselves as of late, but, you know, positive draw against Liverpool the other night. They've obviously found out their Champions League fate as an example. Who do you see picking up the 3 points tomorrow evening?
I mean, it's really hard to give Chelsea 3 points right now in general. No matter who they are, no matter who they're playing, they're struggling. Villa being at home, I mean, listen, Villa are not as good as we're making them out to seem this season. They've had a lot of up and down results, but the last couple of games they look decent. They've added a lot of depth in January. I kind of like what I see from them. Sensio look good. Rashford looks good. You know, and they're at home, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised at all if Chelsea dropped 3 points again. It's just I don't see. There's a lot of teams right now that I don't see how they score goals, and right now Chelsea's becoming one of those. And it's not just that now. What's his name is injured. What's his name? Jackson is injured. They're just, as Don said, they're not creating enough chances. And when they create it, who are they creating it for? Nkunku's not playing like a real 9. He gets frustrated, so he drops to pick up the ball. But then they got no one making any like number 9 runs, and they were already missing that with Jackson there. So now it becomes worse. I honestly don't see how they even score a goal against Villa. So I'm gonna go with a Villa win. You're on mute, Don.
The only thing that I can hope for right now is these men to make a mistake at the back, because Villa, funny enough, have made more mistakes at the back than Chelsea, bro. You know what I'm saying? So listen, Maresca, he said in his press conference that it's gonna, it might be the time to start George. I want to see something different up there, Staffy, even if it's just energy.
I like what I saw from him. I saw glimpses.
Yeah. He brought something different, bro. He was actually attacking with real intent. Because, as much as you're saying, we haven't got any overlapping fullbacks in that, I'm still not going to take away any blame from the likes of Neto. I'm seeing Neto flinch. He goes back. You know what I'm saying? He'll try to beat a man. Lamptey's just pickpocketing him twice in a week, right? Twice in a week, you're getting pickpocketed by Lamptey, who's shorter than Mo. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what are we really doing out here? You know what I'm saying? What are we really doing? Yeah? I can't
Neto has a horrible GNA conversion rate in the Premier League. It's actually so bad. Like, I don't think it gets spoken about enough. It's so low, bro.
Staffy, this is why it's so annoying to me, right? When Gil got injured against, we're talking about Neto. When Gil got injured against West Ham, right? Two of our strikers both got injured against the fucking same team. I was so annoyed, bro, because that game was the first time where I saw Neto actually having variation in his game and looking at a target, man, that he can aim for, right? If you remember the goal that he scored, he looked up, he saw Gil was in the box, he whipped it into him, he just about missed it, and obviously came back to Neto, he ends up scoring the goal. You know what I mean? So I was looking forward to seeing a different dynamic because Jackson right now has not been on form. And even after that West Ham game, you could see that Gil was a natural striker, running the channels. You know what I mean? There was even a bit in the corner where he ran a man down, he shifted them out of the way, nearly created something out of it. He was looking sharp. And most of the fan base was saying, yo, let's actually start Gil now to see something. And then unfortunately, he's out now till God knows when, right? So it's just one thing after another with Chelsea right now. It honestly feels like we're cursed. Bruv. Yeah?
Yeah, but you said it best, Don, and I agree with you. You said we actually weakened our squad in January, and I do agree with you. I don't think your squad was that amazing as a lot of people made it out to seem, but you definitely weakened it. Like, I'm not a big fan of Wow Felix, but I'd rather have him in the 9 than Nkunku. And that's still not a good solution. But he's not there anymore. Your defensive issues, Renato Vega being there would have made it better. It would have made it ideal, but it would have made it better. And he's not there. So I get you. You did actually weaken your squad in January. So I understand why you're coming from there.
Yeah. Mark Smith here says Poch was finding his feet with Chelsea and they sacked him. They are going to sack this manager if he continues to the end of the season. Do you think there's a possibility if the form doesn't improve by the end of the season, you come in 8th, he has a win percentage of like 40%. Do you think he could be sacked in the same way Poch was, the same way Potter was?
I do. I wouldn't put anything past Clearlake. I'll be real, man. When Poch got sacked, it was heavily briefed by Matt Law that, the next manager has to get Champions League football. They believe that even last season, they believe they put a team together that should be getting top 4. You know what I'm saying? So, again, if I'm seeing him trying to problem solve Terry and it's the players that keep letting him down, I'm going to have the same energy as what I had last season. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put it more on the players. But if I'm seeing Maresca constantly, trying things that aren't working, doing the same thing over and over again like Poch, that's when I'm going to look at it and say, do you know what? He deserves to get sacked, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to see him problem solve. That's what I want to see, man.
I hear that. Ronin says missing Nico's 17 GA on his last 20 is brutal. He just doesn't the output. I mean, he was never big with output at Wolves, and he had a decent spell, I think, in his last campaign. But he's never been a big outputs guy, and a lot of skill, a lot of flair, a lot of speed.
He's talking about Jackson, not
oh,
Neto.
Sorry, I thought Neto. Yeah, sorry, I'm totally stupid. I don't know why my brain read Nico as Neto, but there we go. Yeah, I hear you. But listen, Jackson. As soon as Jackson started lying about it, doesn't look at the table. Title race talk came on. That's also what hindered a lot of these Chelsea players because the pooper. It went, mate. The old April went.
I told you at the time, it's not good to keep repeating we're not in a race. Yeah, Mikel came out the other day saying the exact same thing I've been saying. Yeah, you're just talking these lot down. All of a sudden, self-fulfilling prophecy. These guys are falling off. Because the thing for me at the time, Terry, I said, bro, if we push for the title, push for the race, I don't think we're going to win it because we ain't got the experience in the team. But at least you're going to make yourself, you'll put yourself in a good position to get top 4. Yeah. I spoke to CB yesterday. I fucking jumped on his channel yesterday. And he literally said the exact same thing. In December, he was looking at it saying, yeah, we've got top 4 now. Right? Now look at us. Look how far we was from Man City. We could have been far from Man City, you know. Now they're ahead of us again, you know. Yeah. And the quality of the league this season is so bad that we've got, 2 wins in like 10 games. And we're only a point from 4th. That's how poor the quality has been.
So it's a must-win game.
I don't know if it means the quality's poor. I think the quality's great this year. When you think of how good Forest have been, how good Bournemouth have been, how good Newcastle have been, I don't know if that means. What's interesting, but you say quality's poor. I think there's so many teams that are good now in the league. That's why you're seeing more teams lose, because everyone can beat everybody. I feel like if, for instance, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and City would clear everybody else, I don't know if that shows depth in the league or if that just shows that the top 4 are miles better. But for me, the fact that Brentford are being praised for how good they've been this season and they're 11th, Brighton, who just beat you, have had a good season and they're 12th, Villa are 9th. They're not bad teams. Newcastle are 7th, and we're not going to say they're a bad team.
No, but what I'm saying is the teams that usually should get top 4 have just been. It seems like they're even more inconsistent. You know what I'm saying?
But I just think it's because teams like Bournemouth, Forest, Newcastle, Fulham, over the past 3 years, they've caught you up. They've passed my team. They've caught you up. You're there. They've got nearer to where you were, and you've gone backwards. That's what's happened.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But we don't play them every week though. This is the thing. We don't play them every week, right? Man City have been terrible this season. Chelsea have been so inconsistent since December.
Right.
It's poor. It's poor, bro. Because if we did our job, I'm not even looking at those teams. Regardless of those teams improving, like the Bournemouths and that, we're still far from them, right? But we haven't done our job. That's the point I'm making. And it's the same thing as Man City. They haven't done their job, right? And that's why right now it's like a scrappy thing.
But couldn't it just be that Bournemouth and Forest and these teams have better teams than you? Better managers.
Forest this season for sure, bro. In terms of their team right now, it's definitely more balanced. Like they're a classic team, innit? Overlapping fullbacks. You've got solid centre backs in Merino, Milinkovic. They've got a nice midfield. They've got a proper striker in the Chris Wood. They've got proper touchline wingers. They've got a good team. And I told you when we drew them at the time, I said, bro, these Bear Man are gonna struggle against Forest this season. They're a good team, you know. So right now, I think they might drop out of it depending on who can stay fit.
Well, what Lawless was saying when Arsenal beat him 3-0, he said they're about to collapse Forest all those months ago. Do you remember?
You know what he said?
I remember I said that was an impressive win. And he was like, oh, now we're saying a win against Forest is impressive. I'm like, yes, it is impressive.
Don't do captain hindsight, Staffy. No. We're not doing hindsight.
Now, Lawless, before you even say anything, yeah, I'm glad that you said that, Staffy, because me and Staffy get called Arsenal haters all the time. We were literally defending them and saying, yo, beating Forest is very impressive because they're a good team, yeah. And we were talking about how good Arsenal were on that day, and you kept playing it down, Lawless.
You did. We've got some breaking news that's off track a little bit that was put into the group chat. This is coming from it's been aggregated by the Man Utd aggregators. It's from a source, the United Scout. Some people say it's good, some people say it isn't, but it's stating that Paul Pogba has been offered to Man United and is keen on a return. He says that discussions have happened internally. Some have been for it, some are against it. But with injuries arriving, the people who are looking to try and bring him back have a more prevalent argument to do so. Obviously, he's a free agent, so he could be signed as of right now. If the deal's right, Staffy, as in sort of play as you play type thing, because he's had his own injury. You've got to remember, this man's played in 2.5 years. He's played 12 games, and a lot of that was injuries. Would this be potentially a good deal for Man United if the terms were in our favor?
It's better than what we have right now. If he comes in for 5 months, I'm with it. And I think that's all it is. He needs to play football again. I still think on ability, he is better than anything we have in the midfield. Obviously, he hasn't played enough football for 2 years. Most of it, he's been suspended, to be fair. It's not just injuries. He's been suspended because of the whole testosterone thing. And obviously they removed the ban, so that's why starting March 1st, he's eligible to sign anywhere. Honestly, with the injuries that we have right now, we literally just have injuries everywhere. We can't. we saw the bench against Spurs. We had a bunch of kids and Lindelof on the bench, you know. So if we bring him in for 5 months just to help us with our injuries, and then in the summer, good luck, he goes to the MLS or goes wherever he wants to go to play football, and he just gives us some minutes, because he wouldn't really be that much of a starter anyways for us. Let's just be honest. He just hasn't been match fit. But if you bring him in, yeah, I'll take him. On ability alone, I would just take him. You know, we're crying out loud right now for experienced players, for just any type of quality in that midfield. And we generally just don't have anyone. Like, people need to understand, it's like, if I'm homeless right now and I'm starving, and you come to me and you're like, I'm going to give you a McChicken. A McChicken is not really ideal, but it's either that or I'm starving. So I'm taking that McChicken.
What if the chicken is undercooked and it might give you food poisoning?
Oh,
Then what?
What kind of stupid example was that?
What kind of stupid example are you giving?
I'm just saying, it is not ideal. So if you're hungry, of course you want a certain food that you prefer, but beggars can't be choosers. Now you're saying he's undercooked. What? Is he coming in to play with one leg? He has another leg amputated. What are you doing?
I look at it this way. If we put him on a deal that was 4 months long, 3 months long, 2 months long, however long, and he's being paid 300 grand a week, and it's a guarantee of wages, I'd worry, because he could sprint in his first game and his hamstring goes because he hasn't played for so long. The only way this still makes sense is if it's short term, and if it's you get paid when you play. Then if he's playing well and he's starting games and he's coming in and helping us, he gets his money, which he'll deserve. If he's underperforming or he gets injured, it doesn't cost us any money. Then I'm all for the. Then it's a very low risk, because if he's out injured, it isn't costing us money. The worst thing we can do is commit to giving him 100 grand a week for 3 months. He gets injured in the first game. We don't see him, and yet we've gone and done a few million quid, which could be used to buy people in the summer. So I'm not against the idea of it. For me, and if you could get 2 or 3 months of a very good Paul Pogba back, someone with a bit between his teeth, a point to prove, he could definitely. I'd rather have the potential of Pogba than nobody there at all. But it has to be on a sort of, when you play, you get paid. We can't be committing stupid money to this, because
I don't think it's even about the money. I really think he just needs to get some football again.
No, I agree.
He'll
I
do
agree
anything
with
to
that.
just play football.
I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. So from that point of view, I don't think he'll be sitting there going, well, I want £500,000 a week, take it or leave it. But we just need to make sure that we don't, even if it's 50 grand a week, I want it to be you get paid that when you play, because I just don't know about his body. But in terms of his ability, if he's fit, and I'm sure he's been, I saw a video of him long ago. It's not like he's got fat. He doesn't look overweight. He looks like he's kept himself in pretty good shape. Plus, whatever he took never really leaves the body anyway. So we might get a better version of him. They do say that. They do say that when you take the performance enhancing drugs, even when it's out your system, it still helped you. It still stays with you forever. That's why at the Olympics.
You know what's so funny, Terry? Yeah, I was watching yesterday. You know, like Premier League when they show the old games and like classic games. Yeah. I was watching Chelsea v Man United 2012 at the Bridge, when was winning 3-0, when you lot got 2 penalties that game, right? Do you know who was in your fucking lineup that day?
Pogba was on the bench.
No, was Pogba on the bench?
Do you know who was in the? I thought you were talking about Pogba. Was he on the bench?
Johnny Evans, he started. Bro. He started at centre back.
Is that the game that ended 3-3 when Hernandez had it last second? Yeah, I was at that game. I was at the Bridge that day. It was I remember it was a snowy day. I want to say it was January. It was snowy, and I remember it a lot. 1 for the goal. 2, someone grabbed my hat and threw it over the thing. Right, we were all celebrating, didn't care. The best bit, we all calmed down, and then my fucking hat came back. It was like one of those little moments. It's my hat. Yeah, it was a great day.
Honestly, watching Rooney back, yo, this why he was my favorite player in the Prem for a second.
Welbeck won one of the. Welbeck was in the team. Welbeck won one of the penalties as well, and then right at the end, Hernandez header from point blank, bang, 3-3.
Isn't that when we? Wait, was that the Hernandez header or the one where he scored over the line when he was offside?
No, that was the same season, but in the. That was maybe the following season, but I think, that was the following season. That was 2012-13 season. That game was the 2011-12 season.
Yeah, this was 2011-12. AVB was in charge, bro.
Yeah.
Remember when Torres whipped it into Mata back post? Boom.
Oh, that great volley. And then right at the end of that game, 3-3, Mata took a free kick and David De Gea saved it. It was a crazy save. Yeah, I remember that game. It was yesterday. I was there. And the worst bit was that we went down for a beer at half time, 1-0 down. We came up and it was 3-0. And none of us even realized. Like within like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the second half starting, we were 3-0 down. And then I remember a few of the older lads were like, we'll just sing, we'll have a good time, we'll have a party. We got back into the game. Great match that was.
Yeah, it was.
But there we go. Give us your thoughts on Paul Pogba, people. This is Evans all over again. Sentiment. But it's not about that. It's not about that. I mean, in fairness, though, Johnny Evans has not done a bad job back at the club. I can't think of a game that he's played where he's been cooked or ripped apart. As an example, Johnny Evans as a sort of 5th, 6th choice centre-back, I don't think it's been a bad little bit of business for Man United. I really don't.
But Pogba brings in a whole load of baggage, and it's not I'm saying it's his fault, but there's a lot of baggage and a lot of circus that comes with him. If Amorim is already annoyed at the questions about Rashford, can you imagine the pressers about Pogba and what happened before? Like,
maybe,
so much baggage.
But I don't think you get that, Lawless, if he's on a 3-month, 2-month pay as you play type deal. It's not good because there's no way you can ask a question. Oh, are you building your team around him? What about the development of youngsters? It's literally going to be a case of you can see it short term.
No, it's going to be. Are you concerned that he's going to have enough negative impact on the team? Because look what happened last time when he left, and there's what the media are like.
I don't think again, but all that virus stuff was Jose started that. Like no one. I don't really look. I don't think he was that bad. I don't think he was this bad person that a lot of people made him out to be.
I think you give the media a lot of credit, Terry. I think you're giving these journalists a lot of credit that they won't come and try and spin something.
Yeah, I mean, but this media spin isn't so much the issue. It's more, United fans controlling the narrative here. This super chat here says only 7 points between 4th and 10th proves that all the other teams have become stronger and closer to the top 4 quality.
Let me rephrase what I'm saying. Look, you're right. You're spot on when you say that, Taryn. You are right, bro. Like Bournemouth and that Forest have picked up. But what I mean is the teams that are usually in the top 4. I know Chelsea haven't finished top 4 recently, but going into the season, bro, I was expecting us to be in the top 4.
The league isn't weaker. Chelsea are.
I mean, the past probably say month and a bit, we have been, yeah.
Yeah, but Chelsea aren't weaker, are they? They're better than they were last season.
What I mean is,
we have improved points in terms of the points. Yeah,
let's be blunt. Chelsea in the last 3 years are weaker than they've been in the previous 20 years.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, it's not an excuse for us to look at Chelsea are weaker this season. That's why the other teams. I know you're not saying that.
No. They've also it's 2 things. Those teams have improved and. Like Chelsea, Man United, Spurs, we're nowhere near as good as we were.
Yeah. When's the last time Chelsea have finished in the top 4?
Bro, that was the season before we finished 12th.
I was bald then. I had no hair then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Crazy. Terry's gone bald, grew his hair back, and Chelsea still ain't been in top 4 in that time. That's how long it's been.
It's crazy. Other big games this weekend. Arsenal. Can they capitalize on the slip up in the week from Liverpool? Can they close the gap to 5 points with Liverpool going to City on Sunday? How do you think West Ham are going to get on at the Emirates, Lawless? What are you saying?
Do you know what? Like, I'm not too doom and gloom about this game. I feel like we can get something. I honestly do. Because, I mean, look, we were poor against Brentford. We were really poor against Brentford. And I was not. If for some reason he switched to a back 4 for that, even though we've been really good with that back 3, back 5, I think we'll switch to a back 5 against Arsenal, where we've looked much better. They made a meal out of trying to score against Leicester, who are very, very poor side. They've got the struggles they have with the players they're missing up top, Arsenal. So if our defense is going to look a lot more organized in that back 3, and we could be a bit more resilient, I think we can get something because they have not got the firepower up top. I'm not saying that I'll be shocked if we lose. We're going to the Emirates. Of course, it's a tough place to go, but I'm not sitting here like, that's a loss. Like, I'm optimistic. I'm not confident. I'm optimistic for this game that we can at least get a point out of it. And that's what it comes down to. Like, I think we're as bad as we've been this season. I think we're better than Leicester. Well, we are. The table shows it. The games show it. We're better than Leicester. So,
sorry, Lolos, I need you to lose this one. I never thought I would say this, but I've lived to the day that West Ham now are my competitor somewhere. It's not like we're competing for trophies. We're competing for survival.
Well, we've competed for European places before. Now we're just competing for mid-table.
Yeah, but what year was that, Lolos? I'm talking about in my lifetime.
That weren't that. Yeah, what do you mean in your? We've done it. Well, we finished above you, I think, 1 year. But the season we finished 6th, we was competing for Europe with you. when we finished 7th.
I remember there was that one year, yeah, where I think we won the
There's
last.
been like 3 seasons.
You guys lost
the
the last game of the season and didn't finish ahead of us. I think it was you guys.
Yeah, we
Anyways,
bottled
you know what I
it.
mean.
We bottled it against Brighton.
Yeah, I remember that game. And we also lost. And if you guys would have won, you would have finished ahead of us. And we both lost.
That's what
you know what I mean. I don't mean like it's not like we're up here competing for major trophies.
No,
competing for who's the second shittest. Because like I'll be honest, we're just lucky that teams like Wolves, Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester exist this season. Yeah, because they're exceptionally bad. We're bad, but they're exceptionally bad. Even though I do feel a little bit for Ipswich because they actually play better ball than us. They just don't have quality in their squad to do so and finish ahead of us. But bro, for the rest of the season, I'm like done from 2 years ago when they finished 12th. I'm just sitting here keeping eyes on people who are around us because I'm trying to get 40 points before the season ends. I never knew that type of life. Now I have to live it.
It's pain. You know? It's pain. Trust me. You don't know who's going to score. You don't know who's going to score. You can't predict any wins. Bro, I was predicting losses weekly, Staffy. Weekly.
I'm not even like waking up now to watch, let me see who Liverpool playing. Let me see who Arsenal playing. Let me see who City playing. I'm not doing that. I'm waking up now saying, let me go check the Everton game. Let me go check the West Ham game. Oh, let me go check this team. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to start doing watch-alongs for these teams. You know, when people do watch-alongs for their rivals, hate-along. I'm doing hate-along for West Ham.
Pray along.
Lawless. I'm going to be sitting there cheering for Arsenal because I need a favor. I need a favor, Lawrence. This is how bad it is right now. I need you to lose. Ideally, I want to do that. All right,
it's now, between us in 16th up to Spurs in 12th. I think that's the teams. I think Brentford in 11th they're on 34 points. Probably a little bit. I think they'll get enough. I think it's between us. Who's going to get 12th? I think 12th is our ceiling. All of our ceilings.
Wait, let me check how far you lot are from 12th. Hey, Staffy, look at the conversations that you're in, big man. Yeah,
bro. I'm
this is worse than
Spurs because they beat us. That Spurs game was a 6-pointer.
What I know is, yeah, you're 8 points away from 10th. So it's looking like you're definitely going to finish below 10th.
Yeah, I'm just not trying to. I'm just trying to not get relegated. Like I'll be really honest with you,
mate. Like the implications if Manchester United got relegated, it would be.
We won't because we're too far off relegation. We're 12 points ahead. That is a lot of points. But the fact that we're even entertaining this conversation just shows you how far this team has fallen. And that's why I'm looking at your game with Arsenal, and I want to bring you back to that because that was the original topic.
Yeah.
I need Arsenal to beat you. I really do. You know, obviously they need to win for their title race, but as a United fan, I need them to beat you because I'm not trying to fall deeper down the table. I'm sitting 15th, you know. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't even see how you beat Arsenal because as much as they don't have attackers, they still have too much for you. You're not as bad as Leicester, but I just don't see you getting any points off them. I'll be honest.
But it's just going to be about set pieces. If they can get set pieces, then yeah, they can do their set piece. I just think it is going to be, if we do play that back five, it's going to be very, I think, hard for them with the firepower they've got. Unless Merino turns out to be this revelation super striker that they've discovered, unless it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be, if they really struggle to put goals past Leicester. Obviously, we're missing players. We're missing Somerville. We're missing Lucas Paqueta. We're missing Fulkrug. But yeah,
the biggest mistake that we do against you guys is trying to rely on Merino again. And hear me out when I say this. Merino worked perfectly last game. It's just not. It won't be good enough that every game you're gonna go in, and that is the known approach for the game. Oh yeah, we're gonna play Merino as a false 9 or whatever, and he's gonna get you goals. It just won't happen again. Like I heard people say he's Fellaini. Number one, put respect on Fellaini's name, because Fellaini was actually a decent footballer. Maybe later in his United career, he was just used as a tower that we just launched the ball to, which is not really his fault. But Merino isn't even as good as a footballer as Fellaini was. This revisionism is crazy. That I think.
Yeah,
but they're gonna have to look for.
They don't know about the days when Fellaini used to bang balls with Pino. You know what I'm saying? Pino.
Yeah, Steven Pino. He used to have tech. Fellaini. It was just under Mourinho we start using him as just a point to launch the ball to. We just had him sitting up front and we're like, yo, we're gonna throw the ball, bring it down.
He used to get goals from midfield as well. He for two, brother. He was good on the ball, bro.
Yeah, he actually.
They don't know, man. They don't know.
Yeah. Merino doesn't have that. But yeah, I don't think Lightning is gonna strike twice, and I don't think Merino is gonna get him a brace against West Ham. They're gonna have to find other solutions, and that front line still has to have some type of fluidity. I know Sterling didn't work. I think their best chance is still playing Trossard in the false nine and just putting two wingers around him. Because if anything, like I think he had one of the assists. I think Trossard is actually one of the most underrated players in that Arsenal squad. The stuff that he does on the ball, to me at least, I think it's amazing. But they're gonna have to play around him. I'll be honest, because I don't think Marino's gonna do it again. So I think you have more physical profiles as well in the back line, Lawless, than Leicester do. That Leicester is just easy to score against, and I don't think he'll be affording these chances to.
That's true. That is true. That's true. Leicester defensively are shocking. For that Fires guy,
horrible. Yeah.
It has to be one of the worst centre-backs.
Minus 30 goal difference this season. They've conceded
minus 30.
55 goals they've conceded all season this season. Leicester, yeah. Only Southampton have conceded more, which is 57.
You see? And that's why I'm saying, listen, these Gooners have got...
West Ham have conceded 47, though. I mean, not that much. Like, it's not a million miles behind them.
Yeah, okay, but a lot of that was when we was leaking goals. A lot of that was in single games. So we conceded like 5 to Arsenal in the Lopetegui era. 3 Chelsea. So I think 4 to Man City. So a lot of them were all in like individual games. We were conceding a lot of goals, and we've stopped that now. So. I think that context is key. They've still got the same guy in your boy Rude. So
if you stop Ethan Nwaneri, right, then you can definitely stop Arsenal from being a real threat, man, because they're clearly looking for him in every phase of play. He's the one that's got that real, drive to do something. Left foot, right foot is quite unpredictable. Very good player. You know what I'm saying? And if they start what's his name? Merino up top. You've got to watch out for those whips, man, because he's putting in dangerous whips similar to Saka right now. You know what I'm saying? And he's on good form as well, man. So I've been saying to my boys in group chats anyway, like for me, this guy coming into the team, he'll get more GA than Odegaard. And you can see exactly why. Because he can actually he shoots more than Odegaard, and he actually gets it on target more than Odegaard as well. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a little bit of a predicament for these Gooners, because when Saka comes back, I wouldn't drop him personally. I wouldn't drop him. I don't know where he's going to go.
I hear that point. So predictions for the game. What we going with, Staffy? Arsenal versus West Ham. What's your prediction for the game, mate?
I'll go with the 2-0 Arsenal.
What you saying, Don?
West Ham are just so poor, man. I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal.
What you going with? You so wanted to predict Arsenal to lose, but you're just like, I can't because West Ham is so bad. What you saying, Lawless? What you saying?
Yeah. What I'm saying, first of all, we're so bad that it took the referee to give Chelsea 2 goals for them to, a deflected own goal for us to give them a goal, and the referee to give them another goal to beat us. But I'm gonna say 2-1 West Ham. I'm backing the boys. Like I said, I've said it on the preview of my channel. Like I was gonna go for a draw. I was gonna go 2-2, but 1-1. Sorry, but do you know what? It's 2-1. We can have a say. Do you know what? I would love it. I would love it if we put that final nail in the coffin. That is their title.
Hang on, you're doing a Kevin Keegan here. I'd love it if we beat them. I'd love it. I'd love it if we beat them. I think it says the way these 3 nitwits speak about Arsenal, you would think we are fighting relegation in 15th. A pretty daft trio.
Take that super chat off the screen, bro. Who the fuck this guy thinks he is? Take that
sensitive,
shit.
Another sensitive.
Big up yourself. Amazing.
No, don't big him up, bro. Don't big him up. Big him for what?
These guys don't even listen to us.
Don't big him up. Small him down.
Big him up for what, bro? Have some respect, bro, when you speak.
Big up that super chat. Obviously, the big story this weekend.
And I predicted Arsenal win. What's wrong with this guy?
Go talk.
Literally, actually, Terry, when you weren't here, I said I don't see how West Ham have a chance to win this game. That's how I know these dweebs don't even listen before they speak, bro.
They're trolls.
D here says the story this weekend is City versus Liverpool, and it is how is this game going to play out and who wins, Staffy?
Oh. Who do I think is gonna win? City, Liverpool.
Yeah,
bro. Do you guys not watch City? I mean, let's bring Egal on the stream right now. He'll tell you guys why they're gonna lose. He's gonna say it's because of Phil Foden. I have news for you guys. It's not just because of Phil Foden. That team is just crap right now. They're just so bad. The way anyone can run through City right now is I don't know, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Is Pep washed? Because we need to start having some serious conversations about Pep, because they signed all these players in January. And listen, I'm gonna be fair that they do need a lot of time still to adapt and all that. So I'm not gonna be harsh on the signings. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. The City is just horrible. They are so bad, and it's not even the attack; it's the back line and the midfield. I mean, for fuck's sake, they're playing pivots of Bernardo Silva and Gundogan in 2025. People talking about Pogba coming back in 2025. Let's talk about Gundogan in 2025. What the hell is this guy doing? You know that meme? What's a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas? What is Gundogan doing being in a top 6 team in 2025? This guy's absolutely finished. And it's not more, I'm not gonna lie, it's not really even his fault at this point, because he's being asked to do a job that he can know. I don't think even in his prime could he do that job, let alone at this age that he's in right now. That midfield it needs some legs, bro, and they don't have it. And the back line, oh my days. That Liverpool team, listen, even if Núñez is playing, I still have I'll back them to beat that City team. Even I think they're playing away as well. Liverpool, they're playing in City's ground, but I'm still backing Liverpool to win this. Liverpool, they probably had a couple of slumps, but I'm gonna be real. I don't see how this City team wins any big games against attacking teams. We've seen what their name did, Real Madrid, and Real Madrid have not been on a good form this season as much as Liverpool. I honestly think Liverpool are gonna smash them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that them dropping points against Villa has given a lot of Gooners a lot of belief and whatnot. But if you actually watch that game, they created a lot of chances, bro. You know what I mean? They just could have been a little bit more clinical in front of goal. They'll create more chances against Man City, man. These guys play exactly how Liverpool want teams to play. And then you've got that high line. You've got Trent. If he's got that nice connection with Salah on that side, just pinging balls over the top, it's going to be headaches for them, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't see anything less than the Liverpool win, man. I'll be real. I think they're going to beat them.
It's a matter, to me, it's a matter of how many. I'll be really honest. It's a matter of how many.
Thing is Gakpo back for this, bro? I don't think he's back, He might be.
He may be back. I think Tom Little was saying last night he may be.
And then Jota hasn't really been great, man. He's been inconsistent this season. Even the other day, like he was. I know he got the assist for Salah, but he's been getting injured again. When he's played, he hasn't been that good. He's been all right. But...
Yeah, look, I get where you guys are coming from. Liverpool should. You never would have said this up until this season for the past 5-6 years, but I feel like Liverpool should be winning this game. I feel that if they don't win, if they keep the door, especially if Arsenal beat West Ham, if they kick the door further ajar for Arsenal, it will be Liverpool not taking chances, making mistakes, messing up, maybe more so than City being really good. They had that game against Newcastle, and part of me now looking back thinks maybe this is this kind of mental block that Newcastle still have when they play Liverpool, ironically, as well. Maybe they have a little bit when they play Man City as well. They don't seem to have the same, especially away from home, the same vim and confidence. So I'm intrigued to see what Liverpool do, but Liverpool have got good quality. They've got more firepower, as in across the whole park. And I'm talking quality in multiple positions. They've got more power. They've got more speed. They should be winning, but I am very, very hopeful Man City do something. I hope and pray that City.
Is Bernardo out for the game?
But not according to who scored. But I haven't seen any press conferences or updates. So
yeah, Man City. I think we look at them. Obviously, they beat Newcastle 4-0. Mamouche looking really good at home. They played well against Real Madrid at home, very well. They just bottled it, and it's their defense obviously letting them down as usual, and that's going to be their weak point. I think I wouldn't read too much into the Real Madrid game the other day. I think the confidence was that the way they lost that game at home, going to the Bernabeu was always a huge task. I think they lost.
How could you not read into that, Lawless? I'm sorry. How could you not read into that? When this is
what I'm saying is that they went into there, I think, defeated before the game played. So they was never.
Yeah, but they lost the first game as well, Lawless. I
know, but I'm saying is the first game they played really well. They bottled it because their
backline let them down, and
their backline let them down. That's what I'm saying in terms of like we're talking about the overall play, and they banged 4 past Newcastle. Like they've got goals in them. Haaland's banging in the goals. Like so, they've got Mamouche stepping up now. it's gonna be about, can their defense hold up against Liverpool's attack? Liverpool, the chances that they've been missing lately are criminal. They need to be a lot more clinical against Man City. But Liverpool are the favourites without a doubt. But I wouldn't rule out this Man City team because they've got.
It's not that
goals
I'm
in it.
ruling them out. Actually, I am ruling them out. I'm lying. I did technically rule them out, but yeah, you know what, bro? I'm ruling them out. Never mind. There's no way around this. I'm just gonna predict this. Sabazar is gonna have a very good game against them. I really do think so. I think if you could carry the ball well and you have energy, you can play well against Man City right now. So I think he's gonna have a good game. I can't believe, by the way, people are blaming him for squaring the ball to Nunes. I mean, we've reached a time right now in this world where when someone makes the right decision on the pitch, people criticize him for it. I can't believe that. It happened the
Right
same
decision
thing.
to the wrong person, maybe. You know what I mean?
No, but that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like, what is the manager gonna do? Hey, how dare you square the ball to your striker on the far post when he was open? Who says that? Because that happened in Zirkzee. I remember when we played Liverpool and Anfield, and he squared it to Maguire, and people were like, "Oh, he should have shot." I'm like, "What are you talking about? He squared it, a perfect goal scoring opportunity for someone. If they miss it, then that's their fault." I can't believe people were blaming Sabazar for that. I think he's gonna have a good game.
I hear that. A few super chats here. It says, Staffy, you hide if Moyes wins or City beat Liverpool. You'll be hiding.
You're obsessed with me. I'm about to put a restraining order on you. Stop asking me if I'm hiding. I've never hid. I've been on this channel for 2 years. Stop asking me that.
What's the hardest position to play in football?
6.
I'll probably say midfield.
I think striker.
Yeah. I don't know. Goalkeeper, really, because you make a mistake, the ball goes in the back of the net, mate. Like it's hard in that respect.
Bro, the IQ you need to play midfield is crazy, though, man.
Exactly.
Honestly, yeah. I'll probably say
that's why I said
midfield.
the 6, not just any midfield. I think the 6. It is so
That
difficult.
first phase. If you lose the ball there, boy.
Don, I'll tell you what, Don. This is why I look at it historically. Most managers who played in the midfield end up so like if you come from a playing career, most managers that end up being good are the ones that played in the midfield. The worst ones usually are the ones that played in the attack.
Strikers and goalkeepers don't typically make great managers. Historically, it's true.
Attackers are the worst.
The wording here from Matt's making me laugh, where he says B walks back into back into right midfield. Ethan left midfield, left wing with Leo at 9. In fact, he called Bukayo Saka B. Were you guys in the group chat the other day when Matt was talking about taking a girl out? But he didn't write girl. He wrote girl Gyal, and it's like, brother, that ain't you.
I'm not in that group chat.
Why is that?
That's from like 2008, bro.
What's the B for? What's the B stand for?
Is it Bukayo?
Makayo.
Babe. My babe. Yeah.
But by the way, we did predictions for our game. We didn't get any predictions for Chelsea or Man United, by the way. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, we got caught up. Well, we'll do them now then. So prediction for the Man United Everton game. Let's go, Staffy.
Why do you have to ask me this?
I wouldn't.
Bro, I said until the end of the season, I'm predicting 1-0 every game. So 1-0.
1-0.
You don't even believe it.
Don't worry about it, bro.
I'm saying 2-0 Villa.
Villa?
Yeah.
We're talking about Man United.
Asked me for mine as well. In
the Chelsea game, you're saying 2-0 Villa. That's cool.
Yeah, 2-0 Villa.
What you predicting a loss?
I think we're gonna lose, bro.
Yeah,
and then they call you deluded. Well, justice for Don, guys. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0. I'm going 2-0 Everton, and I'm going 2-0 Aston Villa. I agree. Both teams. Both.
Not backing your boys, Terry. Wow, look at you, toxic motherfucker.
Don, you didn't even give your Man United. We asked you for Man. You don't want to give your Man United prediction, huh? You're not interested.
Who, Don?
Huh? You don't know
United. United. I think Everton will beat them. Let's say 3-1 Everton.
Jeez.
All I'm saying is we beat Everton the last 2 games by 7-0 aggregate.
I'm going to say 3-0 Everton. 3-0 Everton.
We beat them 3 in their ground last season, and then we beat them 4 in our ground this season.
Yeah, but Moyes has a good record at home against Man United as well.
I'm just letting you know. I mean, listen, nothing will change because of that. I just wanted to throw it out there. The stats sometimes are interesting. It will do nothing for this game.
Villa, 3-0 Everton. Those are my predictions.
There we go. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. I'm back live at around 7:30 tonight, where it's the final episode that we do with the poker, but it's just me and you. So you guys can come on and play me at poker during the show. with GG. So this is going to redirect you to that stream. So we'll see some of you back there for a little friendly game of poker. By the way, I did win that championship in case anybody was wondering. I battered everybody. I battered everybody. In the final, bruv, I absolutely done everyone. Emery, Hugh Wizzy, Redmen, and the way I scored young Sim from We Are Tottenham, I did say to him all day at the main event, I said, there's no way United are losing to Tottenham. I can never lose to a Tottenham fan. So I had to beat him, and beat him I did. Listen, until next time, everybody, we'll see you in a couple of hours. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.